Well, hello, friends and lovers, and welcome back to Ryan's Death Pile. So, today I would like to talk to you about Harry Potter books, and I'm going to use these guys as a jumping off point to talk about a couple different things. Um, so, whenever I'm outsourcing and thrifting, if I come across a hardcover Harry Potter book in a dust jacket for $3 or less, I will throw it in my cart every time. Now, this guy, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, number 6 in the series. 3.99 tag. I don't know if I made an exception and paid $4 for this guy or if it was a half off day at Goodwill. Don't remember. Anyway, I stockpile these things. And the reason is that even though individual copies of this book, for example, is not going to be profitable for me to sell by itself on eBay or Amazon, I'm going to lose money on that. But as a set, complete set of 7 Harry Potter books in hardcover with dust jacket will be profitable. So a lot of times, you just want to be on the lookout for things. Keep it in mind when you see several books that might be a complete set at a garage sale, a estate sale, or there's a series that you see all the time when you're out thrifting where you might be able to put together a complete set where the paperbacks might cost you $1 or $2 a piece, but when you get a complete set of 8 of them, maybe they're worth $10 or $12 a piece when sold as complete set, either on Amazon or eBay or what have you. Don't take it. Don't go overboard with it. I mean, at one point, I think I had 40 sets I was pursuing, and it just became an organizational disaster. Unless you have the space to store all these partial sets and the organizational skills to stay on top of that, I don't advise doing what I have done in the past and try to chase 40 series at the same time. But pick out 3 or 4 that you like, and it can add to your daily haul. Um, anyway, with the Harry Potter set, I had accumulated 13 books at this point in time, and with that unlucky 13, I just happened to complete my set. So within that 13 hardcover Harry Potter books, I had a set of 7. Now I took a closer look because another thing you always want to be aware of when you're sourcing, when you're out and about, is the fact that first prints and first editions and valuable editions of books are out there, and especially with a series like Harry Potter that has the amount of collectors and popularity that it has, there's going to be a lot of value there with rare editions and first printings. And so before I threw everything in a lot, fortunately, I took a closer look at what different Harry Potter books sell for and what I have that I was about to list as a set with FBA, off into their warehouse to be sold as a set to some kid that's going to read them and devour them and rip them apart. Want to make sure there's nothing special in there. And lo and behold, my copy of the Sorcerer's Stone was a little bit special. We're not going to say this is a $1 million find, but it was worth taking a closer look, and I advise you to do that with Harry Potter books. And so, looking at eBay, looking up just information out there on Google, you know, Harry Potter's first edition, first print, it was actually the the first book in the series was the Philosopher's Stone in the UK. So that's the valuable one, the insanely valuable one, the $4 or $5,000 or whatever it is. It's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone that you can find a first print of. When they printed it in the States, it became the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, the first, very first edition, first print of this text is also very valuable. I think it goes for around $1,000 or so on eBay. But so definitely something to be on the lookout for as well. Um, so I took a look at this book, and whenever you're looking for first prints or first editions, so you're gonna go to the copyright page, and you're gonna try to figure out discern whatever information you can from this copyright page here. And as you can see, there's a number line at the bottom of number of things you're going to look at with this copyright page. You're going to look for the date, a copyright date. This one's going to be 1998 for a copyright date up high. Uh, but this number line down here is what's important. So when you see a number line like this, you'll see down at the bottom it says First American Edition, October 1998. That's just telling you that the first American edition did start printing in 1998. It's not telling you that this is the first American edition or that this is the first American printing. And there's a lot of confusion regarding editions and printings and what all of that means. And I'm going to go into that a little bit. So a lot of sellers will see this first American edition and they confuse and conflate edition with printing. So they'll think they found something insanely valuable, that this is the first print. It's not, it's the first edition, which there could be a series that's popular. There's actually over 100 printings of the first edition. They never made anything materially different with the content or with the book to call it another edition. So you can have a first edition Harry Potter book that's in its 108th printing. There's not going to be any value to that. There's millions and millions of these out there. So you need it to be not only a first edition, but you need it to be an early printing. And that's where this number line comes in. So if you take a look at this number line, there's 5, 7, 9, da 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 da, and it ends with 4. That means that this is the 4th printing of this book. Now, it turns out, lucky me, that this is popular enough of a series, and there's high enough of a demand for this series that even the 4th print has some value. And I ended up listing this upwards of $80, and I'm hoping there's some comps, some sold comps. So there's several of these available for sale. I'm on the lower end of the asking price, and there are sold comps going, in the $80 to $100 range. So I'm hoping that's a reasonable asking price. So yeah, again, you'll see that last number 4 here signifies this is a 4th print, and the second series of numbers is the year it was printed. So that 8 there being there means it was printed in 1998. The same year as the first American edition. So even though this is the 4th printing, it actually was printed in the initial print run, the first year. So this shares the same printing year as the first print of the American edition. So keep an eye out. These things aren't insanely rare. They're just insanely popular. Harry Potter's insanely popular. So these guys are out in the wild. So some other things. Here's another example of the same book, right? Later printing, much later. This is gonna go in my lot. So here we go. Like the sound of that crack when I open this book. Okay. So as you can see here, 25. This is the 25th printing. Still says first American edition, 1998. This was actually this is going to be printed in 1999 here. So this is a 25th printing, still kind of early in the grand scheme of things, printed in 1999. It's kind of cool that it's still, second year of American printings of Harry Potter, but the value is not there to sell it by itself. It's going to go in my lot of 7 complete set Harry Potter book, and we're going to make some profit on that. Now, when you're looking for these books, you can do your Google research. Usually for first printings of any book, there's going to be a number of key signs to look for that is the first print other than just that page. With Harry Potter, for example, this is my 4th print issue. You can see it says J.K. Rowling here on the spine. There's no series, there's no number in the series. Now my 25th printing just says Rowling, and it says year 1, indicating this is number 1 in the series. So this is something that came after earlier printings, and something that I now, when I'm out and about, I can tell really quickly if it's a very early print that's going to say J.K. Rowling here and not have that year 1. Also, you can see here barcode red on my 4th printing, barcode white. Just different signs. You can research different books you're just always be open to the possibility with a popular book that you might have an earlier printing, and look into these things from time to time, especially with something like Harry Potter. Uh, Now, the true first print, first edition of the American edition, again, not as valuable as the UK edition, that has a Guardian quote here. This one is Publishers Weekly, right? So I believe the second print of this book went to Publishers Weekly. The first print, first edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in America had a review by the Guardian. So that's how you see that Guardian quote on the back of the dust jacket. You got some crazy value there. Pick that guy up quick. All right. Now, another thing, and kind of like a false alarm, if you're looking, if you come across one of these Sorcerer's Stone books, and this goes for books in general, be aware of book club editions. All right. Now, book club editions are issued later on, usually at a discount, mass produced as book club pricing. They typically don't have a lot of value. The book club first, the book club edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone has a full. If you're gonna, well, we can take a look at some eBay examples, but if you take a look at the number line for it, it goes all the way down to one. So it's easy to get confused and say, "Oh," or be alarmed. I mean, if you don't know about the book club editions, that you think you had a first print, right? First edition, first print. Oh my god! So you'd be really excited, and you'd be disappointed to find out that it's just a book club edition, not $1,000 book. Um, Telltale sign for book club editions for any book. You can see this guy has a 1795. Often often modern books have a price in this on the dust jacket on the inside cover. It's the 1795 here, right? A lot of book club editions, usually, typically, no price at all there, and they'll often say somewhere like down here at the bottom of the dust jacket, like book club edition, blah blah blah. But if you don't see a price, or if it's clipped off up here, that means it's probably been price clipped. A lot of retailers will cut that corner and take some value off collectible books, unfortunately. But if there's no price there and it's not been clipped, that means it's probably a book club edition. So even though that number line makes it look like a first print, it's not. It might be a first print of the book club edition, but it's not what you're hunting for. Book club edition of Harry Potter also doesn't have this raised print. It has a matte print. It does not have this beautiful uh, purple diamond cloth cover. It has a black cover, I believe. So there's other signs indicating that that book club edition is not the same as the true first print. But something you can look for, this doesn't just cover this Harry Potter release, is that price. And that corner of that dust jacket tells you that it's not a book club edition. Okay. Um, that 25th printing, 1795 on the dust jacket. My earlier fourth print, 1695. That's another sign that it's an earlier printing, and that's something you can look for with different books as well. Lower price, probably earlier printing, right? So very cool. I'm also doing putting together the paperbacks. If I find those for $1 or less, I usually grab those too. The set doesn't sell for as much as the hardcovers, but there's still some money on the table there. Now, even something like Harry Potter, even that paperback of the Sorcerer's Stone, I'd probably be checking out to see if there's any value to the first edition paperback. And you're gonna have to do some research there. Let's see if there's any value there or not, and what kind of markings or identification points you'd be looking for a paperback first edition, first print of the American Trade Scholastic Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone paperback. I looked. It turns out there's not a lot of value there, but if I had one, I'd probably throw it up for $30. And if I collected Harry Potter books, I would probably want a very good, very very beautiful condition example of all the first prints. So if I had a nicer example, nice condition, Scholastic paperback and it was a true first print, yeah, I would definitely list that and put a premium value on it. But it's not gonna attract the kind of attention that the hardcovers do. All right, let me get you here. Let me go into this a little bit more with a view on eBay here. Some things I want to talk about. So as you can see, Harry Potter first printings can go for a lot of money. This is some sold comps here. There's a Prisoner of Azkaban. It's not even the first in the series. The UK version, first printing, first date, $4,400. Here's UK first edition, first print of the Philosopher's Stone. It's the deluxe version. It's a little bit different, $5,000. Um, yeah, I don't even see a comp for here. Here's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, first edition, third print of the UK edition, went for 2 grand. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to see as many of the UK editions, or hardly ever see them at all, really. The Philosopher's Stone version, but if you do, you know, take a look at those. But what you will see, what you could potentially, within the realm of possibility, find is this Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Sorcerer's Stone is the American edition, true first edition, first print. This guy got 2 grand for his. So, yeah, here's another one, 1,200. So then they're not all going to go for 2 grand, but you find that first printing, you find the second printing, you're going to have some pretty good value there. But even the fourth printing, like me, come across that fourth printing, maybe make $60, $70. It's just something that I'm glad that I made myself aware of and didn't just send that off with my book lot. You know, I would have left some money on the table there. All right, here. What else did I have up to talk to you all about? Oh, here's the paperback set. You can see, as a set, the paperbacks go in the 25 $30 range. I have a couple other just Potter books that I've accumulated. Tales of Beetle and Bard, Fantastic Beasts. So maybe I could throw that in an eBay lot to spice that up a little bit too. There's not a whole lot of value, I guess, there on eBay for the paperback set. If we look at the hardcover complete set on Amazon, which is where these are going to end up, look at our sales here. It's just massively popular. It's sales rank is 8,000. So you can be competitive with the pricing here and expect these to fly off the table. The set. So I'd be looking at these used sets here. The lowest priced used set is $92 right now, right? So I'm a prime seller, so I'd definitely be in the prime range. It goes new for 140. I'd probably put it up, you know, higher. As popular as the series is, as good as the sales rank is, I can be a little bit more competitive. Hopefully, pop up in the buy box on Amazon and make it sell for higher than 92. So, yeah, you can see why I put those sets together. It can be $100 sell. It's not $100 in profit. I mean, Amazon FBA, as we know, gonna take a hefty portion of my profit and fees. It is what it is, buddy. The paperback complete set. We're looking at about $30 that I can sell that for on Amazon. FBA, they're gonna take $12, $13 off the top just for handling that bulky set, and then 15%. So there's not a whole lot of money on the table there after the Amazon sale. So I might consider flipping my paperback set with those little other books that I have accumulated somehow on eBay. Okay, so here's so I probably would list these hardcovers under this key. It's a box set on Amazon, right? Um, which even though these books weren't part of a box set, I think it's pretty reasonable and pretty understood that if I'm going to sell these used and put in my description, even though no, my lazy bones customers don't read Amazon's description, they just click buy, buy, buy. But I'm still gonna do my due diligence and list in my description no box, and that should be a totally reasonable place to list these guys. I've also noticed that there's another hardcover listing. It's first edition Harry Potter full book set, 1 to 7. So there's this listings makes plenty of sells. You could use this ASIN and flip your Harry Potter books here. The price point's not quite as high, but even if it was up there, I don't like that it says first edition in the title and the 1997 date. I think because of the confusion with the public in general between first edition, first print, and what all these things mean, I think that's problematic. Because even though these are technically all first edition Harry Potter books, like I said, they're like 25th printing, 100th printing. Who knows? And if you look at these 6% of feedbacks only gave 1 star. And the majority of that's going to be misleading. Definitely not first editions. They said they were first edition and they're not. This guy doesn't know that addition is different from edition. Those are your lazy bones customers right there. There's another guy, addition. I didn't even know that was a thing. Confusing addition and addition. I guess it's the thing. Literacy these days, and these people are buying books. They need to read a book on English. Anyways, yeah, there's confusion here. These people are upset because they think that they bought first printing Harry Potter books for uh, $60. Not gonna happen, guys. Sorry, don't know what you thought, what kind of deal you thought you were getting there, but you did get first editions. The Amazon's page here did not lie to you, but I'd rather avoid having disgruntled customers. So I'm not gonna use this. I'm not gonna use these pages that say first edition on them, even though my books are first editions, because people think that means first printing. They don't know. All right. Now you can see what I'm selling on eBay. My first edition, fourth print. These are the of what's available, what's listed right now. The lowest available price is $79 plus shipping. There's 11 for sale under my search terms. If I look at the sold comps, you'll see that it sold anywhere from 58, or whatever the best offer was, that cross out there means that there was an offer made on that, so that seller took less than the 58 he was asking for. We don't know, and I don't believe have any way of knowing exactly what that offer was, but that sells anywhere from $58 to $94 over the past couple of months. There's 4 that were sold, 11 that are listed now. That does mean you have to be a little bit competitive. If I'm listing this fourth print, I want to be on the lower end of the asking prices, right? Because there are 11 up for sale and only 4 that have sold. Right, here's a paperback. It's like I was telling you, if I had a true first printing, first edition of the American paperback, I'd try to get a premium for it. But just look at these guys. This guy he only wants $10. Oh, there's probably a good deal. First printing right here. What if we look at his if we look at his photos, we can see that this is actually a 134th printing, printed in 2020. Not even near first printing. It says this edition first printing 1999. So he looked at that and just, either wanted to confuse his customers or was confused himself or herself. Um, but yeah, just because it says this edition first printing 1999, that's only informing you that the first printing was in 1999 of this edition. It's not saying that this particular book is a first printing. All right, here's the book club edition that I was talking to you guys about. Right, this is the hardcover, full number line, first American edition, 1998. has the one present there, so that would signify it's a first print. Guess what? It's the first print of the book club edition. Not rare. Not really. Not really rare. And that can be told by this kind of matte and not raised lettering of the Harry Potter text on the cover. It can also be told because you have the year one there. And it says Rowling, not J.K. Rowling on the spine. And the barcode area is red and not cream colored. But most importantly, I want you guys to realize that book club editions don't have that pricing in the top corner of the dust jacket. It's blank. All right. So, oh, and with the Harry Potter book, it also doesn't have the diamond pattern cloth. So the cover of the book itself, the cloth cover is very different in the book club edition. So you can identify that guy quick. Won't always be the same with other books. It'll be harder to tell the book club edition the difference. Um, the dust jacket can be very helpful. Look for that missing price in that corner. That said, with all of that said, it turns out, and I don't know if it's because people just don't understand what a book club edition first print means, or if because it's Harry Potter that even that has become collectible enough to have value. But if I look at comps for BCE, that's book club edition, first print, you'll see I got anywhere from $15 to 75, 70, 120, 90, 130, 30, 30, 140. So you got a potentially $100 find here if you find the book club edition. And I don't think these guys are doing anything wrong because they're putting it in their title, first print BCE. Uh, they don't know if I don't know if there's a demand for that or not. Typically, there's not. These are a lot more common. But with Harry Potter, maybe there is enough of a demand. And if you didn't do your due diligence as a customer to realize that first print BC Book Club edition is not the same as a first print, I don't think there's anything unscrupulous going on here. So there is some value there in the book club edition, a fair bit. So if you come across one of these guys, scoop it up. Just know it's not that $1,000 first print. It's the first print of the book club edition, listed as such, and it looks like you're probably gonna make the sell. Uh, First printing. Now here's a true first printing of the Scholastic paperback, right? Full number line, 1999. That 99 there, 9/9 means it was printed in 99. Just like at the bottom where it says First Scholastic Trade Paperback Printing, September 1999. You have the matching 99 on the number line, so that's the true first printing of this Scholastic paperback. Let's see. This one, I believe, was sold. It was sold for $30. So you find the first printing Scholastic paperback, even with a crease corner. Find one in better condition, you can probably charge more of a premium than that. So there can be a little bit more value, even in that paperback first print. Here's a Scholastic paperback that also has a full number line down to 1. That's first trade paperback, September 1999. Problem here is, if you look at the second part of that, after that number line, that 4 and that 5/0, that 4 is going to mean this was printed in 2004. Odd, right? Because the other one was the first that had the number 1 on the number line, but it was a 1999 printing. So how does this still have that 1, but it was printed in 2004? The answer to that's going to be if we take a closer look at this, the back of this book. This one says this edition only available through the school market. So it turns out, and the price is less. It's $2.99. So it turns out there's, this is one of the Scholastic books that was issued through the school later on. So this again is a first printing of this edition. But this edition came out in 2004, not 1999. So I mean, even with this paperback, you can see, and this guy's asking $48 for that. I doubt he's going to get that, but he might because people get confused, So uh, just you can see how this can get a little bit complicated with the printings and the editions, and why it's good to educate yourself more than your fellow eBayers, because your customers and your competition, a lot of them, they don't get it, they don't understand. So yeah, I mean that's the Harry Potter books in summary. I think mainly it's the Sorcerer's Stone first edition that goes for a lot as far as the American editions. But I'd be on the lookout for number two in the series, number three in the series, and first print, and even the later ones. Be aware of what you're flipping, is it for true first printing or not. I don't believe that there's any big premium on like the Deathly Hallows. That's number seven in the series in first print. Because at that point in time, the series was so popular already that there's millions and millions and millions of the first print printed up, versus the Sorcerer's Stone, where that wasn't necessarily the case. Uh, all right, ended up being a little bit of a long-winded video on Harry Potter. Hope you have some good takeaways from that. Thanks for visiting Ryan's Death Pile, and I'm away.